Hello, all you beautiful people out there. I'm Tom.
And I'm Savannah, and come with us as we serve you the morning tea. The Morning Tea is a student run media show, if you haven't seen us yet, that just wants to take a real world approach to news, gossip, and the likes of that through the eyes of students like us.
Yeah, so if you're feeling a little ordinary this morning, come wake up with us and try and feel a little more extraordinary. If you haven't seen the show yet, check out our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram. They'll all be up on the screen for you right here somewhere.
Yes.
So check it out. But now we're on with the news.
Yes. Okay, so it is currently 17 degrees on this Wednesday morning, the 3rd of April, and we can expect a high of 25 today. However, no sun as cloudy skies are expected. But into more of the news, the 2019 federal budget has been announced. Last night, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg had revealed for the first time in 12 years the nation can expect a surplus. The Liberal Party's plans for the future include less tax for low-middle-income earners, increased infrastructure funding, and more medicines to the PBS scheme. However, there were no plans of an action on climate change, foreign aid, and would be cut by $500,000. It is speculated that Prime Minister Scott Morrison may call for a Fed election this week following the budget. This means voters may be heading to the polls in mid-May. Also, 18-year-old apprentice Christopher Cassanti was killed yesterday when 15 meters of scaffolding collapsed at a Sydney worksite. A 40-year-old man was also trapped under the debris, remains in a stable condition in Sydney's Royal North Shore Hospital. Also, an investigation is now underway as this is the fifth workplace death in Australia just this year. In other news, Woolworth's own department store, Big W, is set to close 30 stores and 2 distribution centers across Australia. Woolworth's chief executive Brad Banducci says the downsizing will deliver large profits and sustainability for the company. It is not known exactly which stores will be closing. However, employees have been guaranteed jobs in the remaining stores. In other news, 3 Sydney women feared for their lives yesterday afternoon when their Ferris wheel carriage's door snapped off. The carriage had become unstable and 2 women fell onto their friends sitting opposite, leaving them hanging for their lives. One of the 24-year-old's hand was crushed in the ordeal. The Ferris wheel was set up as part of the Smith Snack Company spin to win promotion. Police were called to the scene.
Damn.
I know.
It's horrible.
Horrible news this week.
Yeah. No, look, I think, the news there's a lot of things to talk about this week in the news, but I just wanted to mention that topic you just brought up about the Liberal Party wanting to call an early election. I think that's very interesting. That, I think voters should be very wary about why they would call an election that early, especially after their win in New South Wales and after what's been happening in the news lately, bumping up ScoMo a little bit. But let's talk a little bit more about that Big W thing.
Yeah.
So do you know what Big W is?
So I've never been there, but I've heard it's a really big, Australian company.
Yeah, so it's just another Australian company that sells a lot of the sort of Kmart goods around the nation. Sort of like maybe JCPenney or Macy or something.
That makes more sense.
On a smaller level, obviously, it's the United States. But yeah, I think it's what's so horrible about this, like losing all these stores nationwide, is that students and people that are young that have these service level jobs and that come into the industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Come into work through these positions. That's a bunch of stores and a bunch of opportunities that are going away. And obviously, I'm not sure if you know about this as well. I'm not sure if people out there know about this. But the replacements for these stores are not Australian. You don't see, say, Kmart stores increasing.
Right.
You're actually seeing international companies increasing. So places, obviously, we know about the way Aldi took over a lot of the market a few years ago. We've got, I think, 5 Costco stores in almost every major city around.
And I think even Amazon is coming here now, which is crazy.
Yeah, Amazon as well. And that's I'm glad you brought that up because that's what's really scary is that Amazon is a company now that's working so automated. So they have warehouses that are run by robots, which is great. That's, the future. I'm all for the future. Robots running my goods. That's the way of the future.
It's so exciting and so new and so easy, especially for students, just order things online. But at the same time, those same students that are trying to find jobs and things to pay their way through college and the likes, it's going to be so much harder with you can't go to Big W anymore if it's closing in your area, but you can order on Amazon Prime if you want to.
Exactly.
So it's a give and take.
So I think what we should be thinking about is where can we open up more opportunities for young people for work? Because you don't want to start having a population of people that have a large poverty of young people. Because obviously young people are already poor. But you don't want things going into the more narcotic drug territory in terms of, I'm from Queensland. There's specific parts where there are less jobs for young people, and you sort of see a lot more crime, a lot more street crime and that kind of thing. Anything in America, like what happened in America once Amazon sort of, just briefly, real quick.
I don't know. It's almost like I can't even remember a time before Amazon. But, especially when they started releasing, like, the drones and things, like, they were going to, supposedly, like, take your packages to your door. There's been so much, like, talk about, like, what is that going to do for us? I think people are finally starting to really focus on, like, what the implications are.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a really interesting issue that's going forward. Well, we'll touch in next week or something
definitely.
and see what's happening with it. But now we've got something fun.
Yeah.
I've got something fun to show you,
Okay,
Savannah.
tell us about it. I can't wait.
I am excited to show y'all about this. I am a drag queen, as well as the other stuff I do at university. I am also a drag queen, and I made a little video just to show the world. So you know what? I'm gonna let it do the speaking. Let's go to that.
Hi everyone. Hello. Hi, my name's Tom. I am a film student, theatre student. I make shows, I make movies, I make stuff, and I'm also a drag queen. I remember when I was younger, I used to get the So Fresh CDs my mum would bring home, and I would put them in and I would make these little dance shows like I was in a concert, and I'd imagine thousands of people out there, and I would like strut around the house, lip sync, and like make these big dance concerts for my family. I usually try and do one lip sync, so like a song that I didn't make, and then I like to do one song. So it's sort of like blending the two cultures together. I think my biggest mentors are just women that I look up to in the world, and other gay men that I look up to. So I'm inspired by, I guess, my own life, the women that have helped me and the women that have guided me, whether it's people I've never met before that I look up to their music, or people as close to me as my mother. I try and emulate in my performances. As I've come into my age, now that I'm 20, I just want to do it as a career. I want to play music and write my own music and sort of make something out of it. Yeah, something special. I was never exposed to what drag was, but I realized that what drag was already a part of me. Like what drag came from is a part of me. I'm part of that sort of pushed down culture of gay men, and drag becomes a light out of that, I suppose. When I graduate, I don't even know if I'm going to graduate. I'm literally just trying to get everything I can out of this degree. And then I'm gonna leave and go do this. I want to get out into that world, and I want to get out there ready, and I want to make great music, make great shows with great costumes and great makeup, and be able to film it all and make all this. That's all I'm doing here, is learning real skills, and then getting a bit of a portfolio together, and then when I'm ready, whether it's before or even after my degree, that I'm gonna go and do it. As long as you're being yourself, no matter who you are, then that doesn't matter. You got feeling, you got it.
Oh my gosh, that
Ah!
was so awesome. I absolutely
Thank
love
you.
that package. We've heard for like a few weeks that, you did drag like outside of school, but it was really awesome being able to see that side of you for the first time.
Yeah, I only wish I was able. I showed you guys the video of the life stuff, but
know.
I'll have to show you separately.
Yeah,
privately, after the
definitely.
show.
Maybe next week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see. But
Yeah.
just wanted to ask you a few questions. Like, do you
sure.
have a drag name? Like,
Yeah, I do actually.
Really?
So, my drag name is Queen Sinner. I sort of got it. I think I mentioned in the video. I was like teased by my family when I was younger about like doing all that kind of stuff. And they called me Thomasina. Like they would like call me like whatever.
Aw.
So I took it back. I wanted to be like Cena or something like that. But I thought like Sinner was like a play on that. And yeah, I think it's cute.
I
so.
love that. That's adorable.
Yeah.
So tell me more about like your process, like getting ready. Like, what do you do on an average day when you're gonna do drag?
Yeah, so if I'm coming up to a show, I like at least like dedicate an hour a day to like doing some form of preparation, just because I would like hate to get up there and be unprepared. So I have like a little garage downstairs. I live in this tiny little apartment, but I have this garage slot that I don't park in, and I have like a piano in there and like a little Mac that I use to make music and stuff. And I just like practice my dances. So I have like my phone is like the storage is maxed out from dances of me in like high heels and short shorts, like just getting it ready and like then just doing crazy things. It's really embarrassing. It's hilarious.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I can visualize that in my mind.
Oh, imagine I put that in the video. That'd be great. I wish
that
I
would've
actually
been
should have
great.
done that.
Next week.
But yeah. Other than that, I just like to look at the things that affect me in my life and things that I emotionally resonate with, and then like to make that into some sort of interesting artistic performance.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think the last show was about the fact that I left my country town, my beach town, to come to Melbourne, and then want to leave Melbourne to go to New York and like my goals, and I made that into this character that was like coming back from the death. Like I died and like I was coming back to life.
as a new person.
Yeah, and then I came out and I did this big like lip sync. It was so much fun.
That sounds like a ton of fun.
Yeah. If you were a drag queen, what would you be called?
It's probably maybe like a play on my name, like Savvy or like Savage or something
Savvy.
like that.
Savage. Yeah, that'd be good.
I like
That'd
that.
be cool. I like that. Yeah. Interesting. Well, thanks everyone. Or thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely. That was a pleasure to watch.
Anyway, though, now we're going into another little thing that's another exciting little video about comedy festival that's happening in Melbourne at the moment. So if you want to go along, I'd say pay attention to this one.
Every year, Melbourne comes alive with laughter for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. It is one of the world's biggest comedy festivals and has more shows than I can be bothered counting.
Yes, Richard Stubbs, as I say, been around for three decades. I was going to say 3 years, but if you look at tens, it's actually 3 decades. Cacanation is the name of his show. He's got 10 shows between now and the 10th show.
It's a unique festival in that it's quite condensed for such a big city, but there seems to be so much going on as well too.
There are venues all over the city, but the Melbourne Town Hall is the centre of the festival. It hosts most of the main events and is a great source of information. The information booth outside the Town Hall has copies of the full festival guide and flyers for individual shows. If you don't know what to see, the friendly staff can help you out. The Town Hall also has a big chalkboard with the list of all the shows for the day. If you are planning to buy tickets on the door, it could be a good idea to have a look at the chalkboard first to see if the show you want to see is sold out. Walking past the Town Hall, you will be handed flyers from all directions, often from the comedians themselves. This is a great opportunity to meet the comedians and find out what their show is about.
So my show is called Odette Baby Daddy, and it is not stand-up. No. It is character comedy, which is clowning inspired. It has song in there and a good old story as well.
It's two animals that don't traditionally get along. It's about a giraffe and a penguin waiting outside the front of a bookstore for a very specific book, and then their differences get in the way. So it's a show about overcoming differences and how we're all a little bit alike on the inside.
My name is Christina Rhyme-Spitziger.
I'm Jeremy Zone Hughes, together with the improv rap group Rhyme Zone.
It's quite clever.
Yeah, it's very clever.
We improvise
Great.
hip-hop rap
You got something
musicals.
to say? I can drop a sick beat and you'll be on your way.
I went to university in Perth. It was really great. It was the best on earth. I studied and there were peacocks and, you know, my whole experience just rocked. Though I spent the majority of the time playing games, and I know that's insane that I didn't really study. I wasn't in a hurry to graduate, and I thought, no worries, I just played Halo all of the days, and I was stuck in that university malaise. And well, I graduated, and look at here, no one hates us.
Ticket prices range from an optional donation for free comedy at the Highlander to $85 for Hannah Gadsby, but the average ticket price is $25.
Come, support comedy. It's fun. There's some great shows around, and you know, there's different tastes for different people, and there's something for everyone. And even if you don't like straight stand-up, there's sketch, there's character comedy, lots of musical comedy, lots of different variety of acts around the festival. So there is something for everyone.
The festival is on until the 21st of April, so get yourself a ticket and go have a laugh.
I know, too early. All right. Thank you. That was a really good video, actually. We have Becky here in the studio who made the video.
Hello.
So welcome, Becky. That looked really fun, actually. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the comedy show and what shows you would recommend to go watch?
Oh, there's so many shows, it's really hard to pick out which ones. But the Butterfly Club, if you're interested in something that's not quite straight stand-up, something a bit more colourful and unusual, pretty much every show that's on there is a great one.
I've been there, actually. It's a really, really cool venue.
Oh, really?
It is great.
Yeah.
I have to try that out. Sounds fun.
And when it comes to straight stand-up, it's probably a good idea to go and see a showcase show.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different comedians who are performing in the festival just doing short sets.
Sure.
And so it's a great way to go and have a look, see what ones you'd like, and then go and see their show.
Cool.
Big name act-wise, Jim Owen. He's one of the few that can make me laugh to cry.
Oh, Becky looks like a little bit of a romance going on with Jim Owen.
Oh, maybe if there was a time machine in a few decades and back to...
Yeah. That's funny. So I just wanted to ask you a question. So you're a comedian, right, actually?
Yes.
So how do you come up with your material? Like, what's just a little bit of your process?
Well, a lot of stuff comes from conversations. If I make my friends laugh, then I sort of go, oh, I might give that a try. So, and ideas come in that, where my mind can wander if I'm on a train or in the shower or as I'm waking up. When I'm going to sleep, it's so annoying. I'll have an idea and go, oh, that's great. Then I'll have to write it down and then I'm awake again fully. So
That's funny.
it's annoying.
Yeah. No, I can relate to that. If you have an idea, you got to write it down. Same thing with a drag show. So, you get
Yeah, there's always think, oh, no, that's a good one. I'll remember that. You never do.
Yeah. No, you never do. You have to get it down. So, Becky, what do you reckon the funniest thing about you is?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
How about the brace there on your hand? What about that?
Oh, there's it's not the nicest story and it's a bit dull. Although I must admit, having this on, it's making me feel like a massive feminist. It was completely unintentional, but I've got suffragette colours on one side.
Yeah.
And then on the other side's a hairy armpit.
Nice. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't show us that one.
Yeah.
No, it's got the sleeves on.
Maybe not on air. But anyways, so when can we go see your show?
So I've got one show left. It's on Saturday. So it's at 4:45 and it's part of the free comedy shows at the Highlander. So you'd just sort of pay what you think on the way out of a donation. But the shows have been going really good so far. I've been happy with them.
Yeah, definitely. We should go sometime.
Great. Yeah,
That sounds
I'm keen.
fun.
Let's go tonight.
Yeah, Becky, well, you seem so knowledgeable about what's going on in Melbourne in general. So we just want to take this time to maybe see if you wanted to tell us some things about what's going on in Melbourne that maybe the students can go to, in the upcoming weeks.
Well, one I'm going to head down to, so anyone coming down to the Comedy Festival, head down to the Yarra for a little bit. There's a lantern festival going on. Oh. So it's apparently going to be world-class lanterns display. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And there's going to be a market and food and entertainment and stuff at Birrungmar as well, so that'll be fun. There's also a few of the international days coming up. So Friday is going to be International Walk to Work Day.
Oh, really?
So that's going to try and get off lazy bottom and
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, well, sort of. I'll walk to the train and things.
Yeah.
So I'll get
Not
public
that counts, Becky.
transport.
I think you need to actually do the challenge and walk the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit too far to walk the full walk, but it's better than bringing
Come
the
on,
car.
Becky. Come on. Where is it? What's the distance? What's it like?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really do it that often. But the point is also to get you out and exercise, but it's also to be aware of your carbon footprint. So
Yeah,
to leave the
definitely.
car at home. But if you want something a bit more fun than just boring old walking, on Saturday it's International Pillow Fight Day.
I've never heard of that.
No, I hadn't really before, but it sounds really good. There's going to be a pillow fight going on at Federation Square if you don't want to annoy your housemates or partner.
Is this a public event or is this some sort of private party you're inviting us to? I'm a little bit concerned about this pillow.
Secret.
Give us some more information, Becky, about a pillow fight party.
Yeah, well, it's at 4:00, so anyone can come along. They recommend you don't use feather pillows because it makes a big mess.
Okay.
But I would also recommend not using the memory foam pillows because they could be a bit painful.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Well, still though. So this is happening in public.
Yes, in public. So it happens all over the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, in all major sort of squares and things. a heap of
Right.
Pillows.
I'm very skeptical. It sounds very erotic or something. I don't know.
You dirty mind.
Wait, so where was the Lantern Festival? Tell me one more time.
So if you go down, sort of go beyond Federation Square down to the river, and it's just sort of along a bit further away from where you got Flinders Street Station. So you head sort of down a bit. But you can see it from a lot of the different places on the other side. But yeah, Burang Ma is where they've got the markets and the entertainment and food.
What kind of food? Can you get like
Food,
gyoza?
yes.
Can you get vegan gyoza?
I do not know.
Have you been to the market?
No, I
Get
haven't
into
been.
the market, Becky. Come on.
Oh, it's not on yet. I've got to wait for
Oh,
Saturday.
yeah, right, okay.
Yeah,
I'll give
so
you that
Saturday
then.
through
All
to
right, Becky.
Tuesday it's going to be running.
Okay.
Good.
That sounds really fun. So I'm going to go, and I expect every single one of these people watching to go. So, 'cause
Becky,
that
do you reckon
sounds
you could bring me
fun.
some food back from the market next week?
I could. Might be a bit cold and full of salmonella and stuff, but you're willing to give
I
it a
don't-
try.
No, bring me back some vegan stuff. No salmonella for me, please.
I'll try and find some nice vegan food.
Thank you very much, Becky. Really appreciate you.
Yeah,
coming on
definitely. Thanks for telling us all about what's going on this week.
Yeah, and
You're
talking about
welcome.
These topics. Thank you. Now, though, other stuff you can see in Melbourne in terms of just the beautiful sights that we all have, around us here. We're going to roll to a little video about, the beauty of Melbourne. So enjoy.
Melbourne is an amazing city to live in. Being the second biggest city in Australia, Melbourne offers a great amount of culture, history and entertainment. Explore the city and its unique infrastructure. All-night public transport during weekends will get you home safe. Enjoy all the fun that Melbourne offers at night. Its multiple clubs, restaurants and pubs.
That was so beautiful.
I loved that.
Yeah.
That footage was amazing.
Have you been to Chinatown?
I actually haven't yet.
You haven't been to Chinatown?
No, and I love Chinatown. I've been in San Francisco, but I haven't been when I'm here.
I'm in
so.
San Francisco. Oh. I've been to San Francisco. I don't need to go to Chinatown here. Chinatown here. Oh, I'll go one day.
Oh, I definitely want to go at some point.
No, don't. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's some really beautiful sights. The city does sort of light up when it comes to nighttime.
I'll definitely have to do that.
Yeah. But now we have a little sports segment that I am just so thrilled
me
to
too,
be
that I
doing
know
right
so much
now.
about.
We've got Matt in the studio again. Welcome.
Pleasure to see you both this morning. It was a great package about the city of Melbourne. As a lot of people refer to it, is the sporting capital of the world. That ties in very nicely. Yeah, apparently. It depends on who you talk to, I suppose.
Rome, though. Rome's got the Colosseum.
I suppose it does, yeah. It depends on which sort of historical time period you're looking at.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, Matt, why don't you give us the sports news today? Let's go into it.
My pleasure. So the 2019 AFL women's season came to a thrilling close on Sunday afternoon with Adelaide coming up trumps against Carlton by 46 points in front of over 53,000 people at Adelaide Oval. In the men's competition, Richmond's injury woes saw them go down to Collingwood at the MCG by 44 points, when Essendon's poor form continued after a loss to St Kilda at Marvel Stadium. Geelong had the best win of the round with an 80-point margin over Melbourne, putting themselves at the top of the ladder. To cricket now, and Victoria have won their 4th Sheffield Shield in 5 years after beating New South Wales by 177 runs at Junction Oval. Victorian opener Marcus Harris finished the series with 1,188 runs at an average of 69.88. The Australian one-day international team have completed a perfect series against Pakistan throughout the week, notching up 5 wins out of 5. They'll be back in action when the Cricket World Cup gets underway in June. In rugby league, the Dragons have their first win of the season after overcoming the Brisbane Broncos by a single point on Thursday. Melbourne Storm remain undefeated after dominating the Panthers on Saturday, and the Rabbitohs have also extended their streak despite Greg Inglis missing the game due to injury. To the A-League now, where Sydney FC have edged slightly closer to the top of the table with the win over Brisbane Roar on Friday. Melbourne Victory handed current leaders Perth Glory their first defeat since December, with a scoreline of 2-0 ensuring the Victory are hot on Sydney FC's tail in third. In Formula One, Lewis Hamilton has taken his championship defence up a gear with a win in Bahrain, but Ferrari youngster Charles Leclerc was the star of the show. In his second ever race for the team, he qualified on pole position and set the fastest lap on the way to his first ever podium in third. And in MotoGP, Marc Marquez produced a perfect ride to win the Argentine Grand Prix, with Aussie rider Jack Miller taking home a bag of points with a 4th place finish.
Great. Good job, man. That was really interesting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I know you're very passionate about sport.
So passionate. Biggest thing in my life. I love watching the men with their short shorts.
Oh, I can imagine.
Makes me feel really, really alive. Anyway, though, you said that Carlton won this week, right?
They did, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember that. No.
I think you owe me $5 then, Matt.
Do I?
We made a bet last week. You said Carlton is the worst team.
I forgot about that.
They won. I think Savannah's new team is Carlton.
Oh.
I'm thinking so.
You still have quite a bit of time to decide.
I do. I haven't decided yet, but it's looking really good for Carlton.
I'll have to go check over the archival footage to make sure I did place that bet. I don't remember a handshake or anything like that, but I'll take your word for it because you're pretty trustworthy.
Verbal bets hold up in court, Matt.
Very
$5.
true.
Come on, buy me a latte or something.
You're a pretty trustworthy guy. I'll get you a latte after the show.
I'm really not. Anyway, though, give us some info on the Trobe spot, though. Is there anything you'd could tell us about coming up with what they've got coming at the university?
Well, in the next few weeks, you can expect to see a package that I'm going to be putting together about the La Trobe University Ultimate Frisbee team.
Oh, cool. I actually play Ultimate Frisbee at home.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, I do. It's like my favorite sport in the world. I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I went along to a couple of training sessions last year when I first heard of the team, and it's surprisingly intense, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a really big learning curve because it's not something you can just like pick up and learn how to play. Like learning to like actually like throw the disc is like the biggest part of it. So
absolutely,
it's really
yeah.
cool. Definitely gets you in shape.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is this? What are you talking about?
Ultimate Frisbee. You haven't played before?
No.
So
it's like Quidditch all over again. Everyone's like, Ultimate Frisbee. Duh. Haven't you heard of this? Come on. Like, no.
Obviously. Well, I guess I kind of explain it to people. It's like soccer with a disc, kind of, but you can't move when you hold the disc. So it's basically you're just trying to get the disc into the end zone by like throwing it to people, and they have to catch it. Your teammates have to catch it in the end zone if they want to score a point. But people, like the other team's running around trying to block you too. But
so it's football with a frisbee.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can't bounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, I'm down for that. Anything without a ball is probably...
We should play sometime.
We should play sometime. I would love to come along to this video that you're going to
Yeah,
make.
we should, definitely.
Really exciting.
Consider this an open invitation.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, say if I wanted to be a part of a La Trobe team that didn't have to do with Frisbees, whereabouts would I go? What would I do for that?
Have a look on the La Trobe website. You'll find the sports club section floating around in the clubs part of the website, and there's all sorts of sports clubs for all sorts of things, you know. Soccer, athletics, swimming, all your standard sort of sports, all the way down to things like ultimate frisbee, lacrosse, and Quidditch even.
They do lacrosse here.
I do believe there's a lacrosse team here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Actually, I have friends on the lacrosse team too. I got connections everywhere.
There you go.
Internationals doing lacrosse. But anyway, look, thanks, Matt. I really actually enjoyed this week's sports package.
Actually.
I don't have much hope for next week, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, guys, thank you everyone for coming and watching. This is our second show. We're still babies for this podcast, this stream at the moment. But yeah,
thank you so much for tuning in with us. We have an absolutely fabulous time with y'all every day.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll be keeping the tea fresh for you next week. But look at that, there's nothing left. We've finished the tea. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.